Alright, hey YouTube, we are doing another product review, gear review. Okay, here we are in my backyard. Why in my backyard? Well, because it's too cold to go anywhere right now. It is 34 degrees. I don't know if you guys could see that. So, I bought a hot tent. This is the Preself 4-person hot tent. It's 13 feet across the bottom, they say. Boy, it sure doesn't look it as you stand here. And they say it's 7'2" tall, and that's about right. I could stand up inside of it. Before I get going, there's 2 doors. Boy, is it a windy day. I've had this set up about a week, but we're going to unzip it. I like the zipper. Has a nice little flap. These little weather flaps. It has some decent Velcro to hold the flaps in place. Okay, so here's my hangout spot. So before we do the walk around the outside, I am going, there's 2 chairs. Yay, yay. My little cheapy stove that I bought from Walmart for 120 bucks. I like it because it has the glass door on it. And it's a side feeder, which is good and bad. We'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, let's light this fire before we go too much further. A lot of you hardcore guys use your little cool little saws. I don't waste my time with that. I've got an electric saw. I could process piles of wood in the time that it takes you guys to cut 2 logs. So if you have a saw like this, you can cut pieces. You can have enough fuel to run that stove all night and the next day. So anyway, this is a paper towel. Whenever you cook bacon or hamburger, go ahead and take that grease that you would normally throw in the trash can, mop it up with a paper towel, and save them in a little bowl. Whenever you need a fire starter, you've got these things, and boy, do they work. You get about, let's not leave that there. You get about 10 minutes of burn time. So we're going to start this fire. And that's how I like to roll. I like to stoke it full of wood, light one of those paper towels, and then close it. Temperature inside the tent, 46 degrees. So I guess whatever sun's coming through up there is warming up the tent. But we're going to come back to that. So, where are we going to go? Yeah, we're going to go. Okay. Great. So let's walk around and I'll tell you what you get with this tent. So, you have a door. There's 2 doors. There's a door on each side. You get this cool looking flap right here that kind of velcros. And there's this little standoff. Now, I think that you don't need both flaps open when you're running the stove. I think one flap is plenty good. So you could close it, and there's another flap just like this on the other side. You get these snow skirts. That's pretty cool. You get these stakes and these adjustable straps. After you stake it, you could cinch it down. And if you pile enough stuff on top of these flaps, you can keep the wind out. But right now, as you can see, what's happening is the wind is just having its way. It's like 20 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour gusts. So you have these guy lines. So, there's guy line points. I think that there's 8 of them. So we're going to walk around. Here's the back side. Here's the other door I was telling you about. And then there's the other flap right up there, or a little vent. Here's your stove jack. I do not have, there's tie-off points up there for the chimney, and I have yet to use them. I don't really think you need to use them. I've got that hole cut pretty small. between the stability of the stove and the stability of the tent, that pipe hasn't gone anywhere, and it's been there for about a week. So I don't know, I guess if you want to be extra reassured, you can tie that off, to those 3 little tie-off points and stake out your chimney. But I have no intention of doing that. Okay, so let's come back around the front. And my fire is going good. I think that's all you need to see. What you get with a Preself tent is you get these stakes. They're pretty long. They look about 7 inches long, aluminum. They give you a mess of them. I don't know, 12, 15 of them. Quite a few. Let's see. It is all the way up to 51, so our fire is doing something. So let's go ahead and zip us in. Okay. Oh. All right, let's turn the camera angle. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll sit in a different chair. So, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Okay. So I'm sitting cozy inside this teepee tent. I would say, room-wise, let's talk about room-wise, because everybody wants to know how much room there is inside one of these things. So I have these low back chairs, as you can see, these Ozark Trail guys, and they sit kind of low to the ground. If you're going to try to sit in a tent like this, I would suggest those really small, lightweight camping chairs or something like this that's low to the ground. I think that you can easily fit 3 people in this with a stove. One right here and one over there. And of course I'm sitting right here. And I'm gonna flip I'll leave this view on. Let's see how the stove is doing. The stove's cranking right along. So why would you ever want to get a tent like this? I think a lot of people would think that you would sleep warm in this, and I suppose that would be true if you were to wake up every 2 hours and play with this stove. Maybe you can put some kind of wood in there that'll make it burn more than 2 or 3 hours, but I'm kind of doubtful. So the reason why you get a tent like this is wintertime camping. If you just want a warm hangout spot, this is a good place to do it. Instead of sitting around in the cold around a campfire pretending that you're warm when you're not really that warm, you could come out here, and be warm. You could play some chess, some cards. If it's raining or snowing, hey, you have instant protection. And so that's where the advantage. The disadvantage is this is going to be like 2, maybe 3 people are going to sit inside this thing with this stove burning. So, would I buy it again? Well, it depends what you're trying to do. If it's just, you and another person or 2, yeah, this thing fits the bill. I spent $143 on this tent. For another $70 or $80, I could have got the 8-person tent. That was another foot taller and 3 feet wider. That thing's huge. I kind of almost wish I would have done that. So really it depends what you're trying to do, but as far as setup goes, this versus my other tent, this tent took 5 minutes to set up. And if you want to guy line it out, it took me probably about another 2 more minutes to run the guidelines. So in terms of setup time, it goes up and comes down pretty fast. It's on pace with any other tent that I have. So would I take this out without the stove? Sure, I would. But this sure is a nice option. A buddy of mine and we go out oil painting. We might do it, in the winter now. And presuming it's not horribly cold, we could open up a door on each side over there and the one behind me back here. And we could have a nice little stove, kind of keeping warm, keeping out of the wind and the cold, and stay reasonably warm in here. And you got a nice cook surface. Yeah, let's check out what's going on. It is cranking along. In here, I'll see if I could give you an idea how much room we're working with in here. So, it's kind of hard to get the perspective, but with this stove, you can easily put somebody asleep across back there. You could easily put somebody's bedding right here. You can easily put somebody's bedding right here. It'd be really skinny to get somebody back there. You probably could, but I wouldn't do it with the stove. I would just kind of keep gear and stuff back there. So 3 people maximum sleeping in this thing with the stove. One of the cool things about this kind of a stove is with the glass, you get the nice amber glow. So it's a lot like sitting around a campfire at night. You get that same sort of essence, you know, except you don't have all the smoke hitting you in the face. And with the side door, it is easy to clean. You know, you just open that guy up, swing it out, and whenever it gets covered black, you just wipe it with a paper towel, a little wet paper towel. You could even dip it in some ash and keep your door clean. But it is getting toasty in here. It was, what, 34 degrees outside? And let's see what it is right now. Okay, we are at 55 degrees, 56, 57. Here, I'm going to sit in my chair and measure it. 58, 59, we're at 61. Look at that raging fire. We're at 63. So right now, we are, I don't know, 25. Well, we're at 64. So we're 31 degrees warmer inside than we are outside. And it's climbing. Well, it sure is a pretty fire. Give you guys a good view of it. 66 degrees in here. And now this is down low. If I go up high with this thermometer, this is probably, 5 feet off the ground. I mean, we're like 73 degrees up here. I'm just stretching my arm. 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. Okay, so you get the idea. It is warm up there. In fact, as I sit here right now, it's almost too warm. So, anyway, I hope this helps somebody. If you're looking at buying a hot tent, this might help give you an idea whether you want to own one, how big of one you want to get, what you want to do with it, and how you want to do it. I'll shoot more videos of this thing when I take it out camping. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Catch you next time.